Record. I am so excited to have all of you here tonight and listen to Belinda Ellsworth. She's been around for a very long time. I met her years and years ago when I first started with 31. And then actually in 2009, I drove all the way to Nashville just to hear her. And I've been following her ever since. And she knows so much about direct sales. So I'm just going to let you take over, Belinda.
Okay. Well, Dawn, thank you so much. I appreciate you hosting this, and I want to thank all of you for showing up tonight to learn more about your business and invest in yourselves. So, we're just going to hop right to it because I want to give you as much as I possibly can. The title of the training this evening is called Passion with Purpose. And if some of you are familiar, I design a planner specifically for the direct sales industry. This is our 6th year that we've done that. Each year has gotten better and better, and each year has a theme. And I'm very picky about my theme. I really think hard about what do people need. Like 2 years ago, it was about being intentional and being excited because people were struggling with it was like fiery darts being thrown at you all the time. Last year, I found that people were sitting in a waiting mode, like, I'll be glad when things get back to normal. And consequently, they weren't dreaming anymore. So last year's whole topic was on dreaming again, creating a vision. What do you want to do? And as I talk to literally thousands of direct sellers, so many people have the same thing in common, and that is they're just kind of a little bit worn out. They get themselves up. They're like, okay, today's the day I'm going to really work my business. And they might work it for part of that day or all day. And then they kind of like, okay, that's enough of that. And so what I find is they've lost that passion, that real true passion, and they've lost the purpose. And so that was why we came up with the theme of passion with purpose. And so what I want to do tonight is try to help you get your passion back and how to take that and be purposeful with it and what action steps you can do in your 31 gifts business in order to see those increases, make the income that you want, be the leader that you want to be. If you're not a leader, promote. So these are the things that we are going to talk about tonight. So let's start out with passion. What does it mean? So passion is a strong and barely controllable emotion. Do you guys remember when you first started how it was like Christmas? You couldn't wait to open that kit. You were excited to tell everyone. You were on fire. You were probably going live. You were like crazy, like, oh, I'm so excited. And there was this passion that was an uncontrollable emotion. And so I want all of you to stop and think for a minute. Do you still have that? Or have you lost that? And you probably haven't lost it. It's buried way down inside here. It's still down there in your heart, but it's just buried with a lot of the stuff like doubt and worry and fear and overwhelmed and frustration. Can anybody relate to some of those things? So we want to help you pull those things back out and bring that passion that you all have, and really start living it. All right. The other definition for passion is a strong like or desire. And this is something I want to share with you. I've been training this for literally over 30 years. So before I became a speaker, I've had a professional speaking business now, which Dawn mentioned, for 28 years. But prior to that, I was 16 years in the field. And this is one of those trainings that I even trained my team on. It's something I've always carried with me. And over the years, I've thought about, dumping it. And yet people say it's one of the strongest things that made a difference for them. So when I was reading the definition of this, a strong like or desire, I thought, I'm not going to spend a whole 30 minutes on it, but I am going to go over these quickly. And that is my 5 Ds of success. And a lot of people think in order to be successful, the very first D is desire. And in reality, if you sit around waiting for desire to just suddenly overwhelm you in a day and that you're just going to take off and suddenly you're going to feel it, you could be waiting a long time. The first D in this whole process is to make a decision. It is amazing that when you make a clear cut decision, like, okay, this is what I am doing, it is amazing at the things that start to align and happen. I have a podcast, and it's always been sort of extra for me. The podcast has sort of been fun, it's inspiring, it's good. And recently I was like, no, we are monetizing this podcast. I'm going to get serious about it. It's something I've been doing now for like 5 years. And I made this decision. It was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. And it was just words out loud. But then I started taking what? Action. Because what happened is when you make a clear cut decision, the excitement starts to grow in you. You can't help it. It's almost like bubbling. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I've got clearly defined about what my plan of action is. Then that desire starts to build. And what's amazing is when that desire builds and that enthusiasm and you're sharing that passion with others, others are attracted to it. And suddenly things start to fall in your lap that didn't ever before. And I know that sounds crazy and some of you are going, no, but I could not believe the difference in my business in 1 week. And the only thing that I did is I said, this is what I'm doing going forward. And I made some big decisions on it. There were about 4 of them in regards to it. And the next thing I knew, this person was connecting with me. This person was reaching out. And the energy level was contagious. So I just want you to understand that. We're going to talk about enthusiasm a little bit more here in just a minute. So I want to go through these with you. Those are the main 2 I want to talk about, because to get that desire, you've got to make some strong decisions about what do you want out of your business? How much money would you like to earn for your family? What will you do with that money? What impact will it have on your lives? Maybe on others. If you make all the money that you need to make, then maybe it's like with philanthropy. How can I give back to others? And it is really important that you make clear-cut decisions. The desire builds, then you follow through with the details. Those are your daily actions, your list of things to do. We're going to cover that momentarily as well. When you do these 3 things, you will reach your destination. And I know that you're all going, it's not that simple. It, honest to goodness, is that simple. And the 5th D in this whole process is to be determined. Have determination. And determination is following through when sometimes you can't even seeing it. It's not giving up no matter what. It's continuing with mundane tasks. Seeing it through to the end. That's what determination is. And so that I just wanted to start with you guys because it's really important that we sort of get that on. So that's passion. Now let's look at purpose. Purpose actually has 2 meanings, and this is important for you as well. The first purpose is being purposeful. It's acting with intention. And let's talk for a moment. What does it mean to be intentional? Being intentional is when your actions, everybody always says that. Did I miss the 4th D? It's decide, desire, details or daily actions. You reach your destination, and throughout you stay determined. Those are your 5 Ds. All right. Being purposeful means intentional. That means your actions align with your words. How many of you say things like, oh, I really want to be, I'm so sorry. See if I can get a cough drop and get a hold of this. I really want to be successful with my 31 Gifts business. I'd really like to sell $4,000 this month. But then what are you doing to make that come to pass? What daily actions did you do to support that? That's being intentional. Oftentimes, and many of you can relate to this, we say, well, I'd really like to lose weight. I'd like to lose 20 pounds. And then, yet, what action steps do we take? We keep saying it and we keep saying it, but are you changing your eating habits? Are you exercising? What are you doing that would put you to make it easier for you? Are you meal prepping so that you don't eat unhealthy? So, what kind of action steps are you taking? And you'll find many times you're not really taking any action steps. You just keep saying, I'd really like to lose these 20 pounds. And unfortunately, they're not going to come off until you actually say, what are my action steps? And those action steps align with our 5Ds in the what? The details, the daily actions or the daily things to do. The other meaning of purpose is, what do you do for others? You have to get really connected to, how do your products help others? How can you help a mom with 4 kids? How can you help somebody have a better organized home? How can you, what are you doing that makes your products incredible, and what kind of impact do they have on others? That's going to be extremely important. If you're not connected to that with like your heart, like, here is what I'm truly doing for another person. Because unfortunately, when doubt and fear starts to creep in, we start to feel that kind of overwhelmed, you start to say, oh, do people really need another bag? Oh, I sold this before, who's going to really want this? Well, lots of people. Think about all the testimonials that you've got. So one of the ways of getting that passion back is to contemplate why you started in the first place. Why did you start in the first place? What does it mean to you? And the other thing is the testimonials that you've gotten from some of your customers. Revisit some of those. If you have to go and type them all out, when you start to have doubt, you can pull that sheet out and say, this is why people love my products. This is the impact that I am making. This is why our products make a difference. That will continue to fuel you to continue to move forward. So that is a little bit about passion and purpose in these 4 Ds. So let's talk now about the 4 things that successful people do have in common. The very first thing is dream. Successful people dream, and they dream big. And so they sit, and how many of you sit and actually daydream? What if I did this? What if I sold this to this? What if 5 people bought this? Like, how could I sell $3,000 this month? How could I sell $4,000 this month? What would I do with an extra $1,000 in income? Like, start to dream and dream big, because when we aren't dreaming, we become stagnant and we don't believe in what we're doing. So the way you can do dreaming is by vision boards. It is by writing in a journal. It is by sitting down and saying, what do I really want out of this? What are the possibilities? Dreaming is finding the possibilities. If everything could just go the way you wanted it to go, what would be the possibilities of what this business could do for you? Get connected to those, because those are possible. If you will dream it, put it in your vision board, stay focused on it, oh my gosh, you would be blown away at the things that can happen. So dreams are number 1. Number 2 is successful people are enthusiastic, and they don't keep their enthusiasm inside of them. They share it with others. So how enthusiastic are you? How are you showing up? Like, in your videos, in your lives? How are you showing up in your group? How are you showing up with your customers? So I'm going to give you a really good example of this. And first of all, this is the basic rule. People will mirror what you put out. I'll say that again. People will mirror what you put out. So if you're kind of blasé, or like, oh, we got a flash sale going right now, let me know if you need anything, the person is going to be, all right, I'll take a look when I get a chance. That is being very blasé. But if you call someone up, or if you send them a message, oh my gosh, our flash sale just went out today, or our customer specials were just released. This one item, I know this is something that is so you, and you are going to love it. And they're like, really? And so then they want to go take a look right away or tell me about it. How much is it right now? So then you can talk to them about the things they can do with that item. Like if you're enthusiastic, people will just follow right along with you. They're excited. Last week I was booking these and I called like a friend of mine. She's a leader with a company and we've been friends for 30 plus years. And I called her and I was just kind of blasé. I'm being honest about it. And I said, hey, I'm booking my, live trainings right now. It's time I'm promoting the planner again. Can we book one? And she goes, oh, right now we got so much going on. And why don't you reach back out to me later in October? Maybe we'll schedule one for November. Does that sound like anybody you're trying to book a home event with or an online event with? Absolutely. And I was just kind of like, really? So I was let down. Why? Because she's a friend of mine, a colleague and a leader that I've known for 30 plus years. And I'm like, can't you help a girl out? But I didn't ask her to help me out. I just said, hey, I'm scheduling these. Why don't we do it? Well, the next Wednesday we chatted, and it was after I had made some of these decisions about what I was going to do. And I had also talked to several other leaders like Dawn, and I had talked to about 10 other leaders from other direct sales companies. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. And this is what's happening. And everybody's on fire. And this is what we've identified as one of the key things. And this is what people are doing to change that behavior. And she was like, okay, I need to get booked right now. And she booked it right then and there. She booked it for the second week of October. What changed in all of that? The only thing that changed was me, was that urgency, that she felt that she was going to miss out. She felt that, wow, if I was this fired up about what I was doing, then it must be good. It must be important. So make sure, think about who you're going to reach out to. Think about the messages that you send. Think about what you're putting out there. All right. The next thing is they have a positive attitude. Guys, there's too much that can take our positive attitude away on a pretty regular basis. I mean, all kinds of things, everything from what's going on with your kids to somebody, telling you, we were trying to get all these planners out the door and I got one woman online going, this is a scam. They've just taken my money. Well, I just threw this money away. I was like, she got in my head for a minute. And then I just sat down and responded very kindly and very positively and said, if you don't know us, I can see how you feel this way, but let me assure you, and I just answered it in a very nice way. And at the end, she said, thank you for responding. So sometimes we let people detour us or start to feel bad about what we're doing or doubt what we're doing, when in reality, it's usually them. She's probably having a really bad day. So I just stayed positive and said, I am not letting one negative review on this whole entire page of 200 comments. Why? But we do that. We all do it. 100 people are saying, I love this planner. It's the best in the industry. Oh my gosh, this is my 4th year using it. Would never use another planner. And then there she is with this big long rant. And I let her, she got more attention than anybody else. So then I went back and I responded enthusiastically to everyone that said all the positive comments as well, because they deserve that too. Why does the squeaky wheel just deserve your attention? So it ended up being I felt very productive. I felt like that I'd had a good day. And you guys deal with this day in and day out, because I'm no different than you. I have kids. I have my mom that I have to be a caretaker of. There's always something going on there's another doctor appointment. There's something when you think everything's pretty even keel, then they throw you out of left field and now you got to go to another specialist and you're like, yay. But you got to stay focused on what's working. And a couple really great ways to do that is definitely have a good support system. Have people that you can talk to. Surround yourself with positive energy around your room, positive quotes, positive affirmations, things that are going to be helpful to you. But honest to goodness, one of the best things that I have found, and this isn't just through myself, there's so much research now. You can look it up online if you don't believe me. But one of the best ways to keep a healthy, positive attitude is through using a gratitude journal. It's probably one of the single best ways. Why? Because this is an interesting fact. When you are grateful and thankful, you cannot be disillusioned at the exact same time. The two emotions don't live in the exact same space. So why not choose gratitude? Why not wake up and say, okay, what am I grateful for today? What is working in my business instead of what isn't working? Because as people in general, we focus on what isn't working. And so I want to encourage you every day. Statistics show that people who use gratitude journals have a 40% greater chance of achieving their goals. So why wouldn't you want to do that every day? I had one lady tell me, I actually fell in love with my husband again. Like, we were kind of at each other's throats because we were both working from home. Then every day I was writing things I was grateful for, and it just put me in a really good mood. Then I started writing things I was grateful for about him. And the next thing she knew, she goes, we were going out for dinner, having great conversations. It completely changed my attitude toward him. And I thought, well, that's awesome. So if it can do that for you, just think of all the other areas of your life that it can do that. So that's our gratitude journal. All right. The fourth thing that successful people have in common, and this is where we're going to start shifting our gears here, is the fourth thing that successful people have in common is they set goals. And guys, when I ask, in a group of people, how many of you have your goals written down and in a place where you can readily see it? I'm blown away. Back when I first started this 28 years ago, it used to be about 25% of a room. Then as years went on, it went down to 20, and then 15, and then 10, and then 8. And I don't even know what the statistic is now. I'm not doing as many live events, and we try to do some stats, but the biggest reason that people don't set goals is, well, I'm just doing this part-time. So people think if I'm part-time, I don't need to set a goal, because people think goals have to be what? Big. And a goal doesn't have to be big. A goal is how you're going to get to your what? Vision. It's how you're going to get to the vision. Vision is connected to your heart, and goals are connected to your brain. Like, okay, I'm thinking about it. What do I need to do? This is what I need to do in order to get where I'd really like to be. You have to set a goal. Otherwise, you stand in the same place. Think about it as a destination and you're driving somewhere. You put it in your GPS, right? When you put a direction or a destination in your GPS, that is a goal. And you follow each one of those steps. And yes, sometimes along the way, guess what? You have to take a detour. You miss the turn. You have to turn back around. Like, how many times have you had to do that while you're following your GPS? Tons. But you don't give up and say, man, I'm just not going. I am not going to the zoo today with my kids. I'm just going to go home because I have got turned around twice today. No. We stay on the course. So I need you to understand, goals are important. The other reason I hear people say that they don't set goals is because they don't want to fail. Guys, there is no failure. If you miss a goal and you've got a clear vision, that's why it's so important. The vision is the why. It's the first part of goal setting. If you miss, let's say you don't have a vision. You're like, oh, like what would $3,000 do for me and my family? You don't have that figured out. But you just say, all right, I want to sell $4,000 in a month. And you set that goal and you start out to do it and you don't hit it. Some of you are like, I knew I couldn't do it. I don't even know why I bothered trying that. But if you're connected to your why, you're like, that's okay, because I'm that much closer to that. We were planning a vacation for our family. We have this much money saved for that. I just need to keep going. That's why goals, there's 3 parts to a goal. It's the why of it. It's the actual goal itself. So I'd really like to go on this awesome vacation with my family. Let's just say that's it. I'd really like to remodel my kitchen. I would really like to be able to pay for a new car. So whatever that looks like. Okay. All right. That's what I would like to do. Maybe it's support an orphanage somewhere or new, well in a third world country. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's whatever your vision and your heart's desire is. Okay. So then I'm like, okay, what would I need to do to get that? I'm going to need to sell about $4,000 a month. All right. So that's your goal. A lot of people set a goal, but then they don't do step 3, which is the plan of action. What are the steps that you're going to do every day to get there? This is why if you really want to achieve a goal, you set your monthly goal, but then break it down to weekly, because sometimes a month gets away from us. And the next thing you know, it's like, how did it get to be the 26th of September? September was just yesterday. The beginning of Labor Day was just yesterday. How many feel like that sometimes? Like totally gets away from you. So set your goals each week. If I want to sell $4,000, I need to sell $1,000 a week. If I want to sell $1,000 a week, what do I need to sell daily? If you break that down, you will be more intentional with your actions each day. So maybe you pick an item. Maybe today's featured item is the utility tote, and I'm going to go live and I'm going to show this week all of the reasons why you need not one utility tote, but multiple utility totes. And so then you figure out, if I want to sell $1,000, how many utility totes do I need to sell? And then you do your reels, you do your posts, you go live, you talk in your group, you reach out to some customers, maybe talk about some new patterns that you guys have going on with them. I know they're always changing the patterns and they look so pretty. And then mine gets yucky, like the ones especially I use for my boat and I use for outside. They start looking kind of grubby because they're left out in the rain or whatever. And so I need a new one, right? I've got so many utility totes. It's not funny. My young daughter, she's in college now, but she has still all of her American Girl doll stuff is in her utility tote. And it was her pattern that she loved with her name on it. So you guys, you've got to get connected very specifically about your action steps. All right. So there's 2 areas in your business if you want to be more successful that you're going to need today is the last day of your utility sale. That's hysterical. So there you go. And how many of you sold? That's the thing you must ask yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't just put it out there. We have to be very specific on what number of those. If the company comes out with a sale, okay, who would need this? How can I explain all the many different ways? Short reels are getting more people's attention than almost anything else. And when I said to you that I did 14 or 15 reels yesterday, that's the most I've ever done at one time. Normally about 9 of them take me about 2.5 hours. Yesterday, I did 15 of them in just under 2 hours. So why did I do 15? Because I did the rest of September's and I did all of October's because that's what my social media gal likes. And then she schedules them to be posted. So I don't do all that myself, so that's a little bit different, but you probably don't have to do 16. So I'm letting you know that I struggled hardcore with it in the beginning. And now that I'm doing it, it goes pretty darn fast. It's like 30 seconds. Yesterday, I only had to redo and start over 3 of them. That's pretty darn good. And that isn't where I was 5 months ago. Now, do you have to be in the video? Not on all of them. The ones that people love the most are pictures or little short videos of the product. And then you just put words up, like how many utility totes do you have? And then put what all the things they need it for. Like, then you need one for this, you need one for that, you need one for that, you need one for that. So when people are reading it, the ones where you put up words in like a second. You know what I'm talking about? People can't catch it all. So they watch it again and they watch it again and they watch it again. I had a leader who had never done a reel. She just did one. She's with another direct sales company. The only thing she did, she wasn't even in it. She did a short video on how to cut and press a garlic. And it got over initially in the first day over 3,000 views. Within a week, she had 8,000 views. And within about a month, she's had over 12,000 views. And she's like, I can't even believe that. Like, that's mind blowing to me. But that's what people do. They like to watch stuff. And then they watch it again because guess what? They're only 30 seconds. So if you have not done reels, this is something I would like you to at least explore. And the easiest ones, there's two categories. So always think of your business in two categories. What am I doing? What am I doing for sales? And what am I doing for sponsoring? So your product reels are for sales. You know, when you can talk about, when you just show how many uses that you could have out of one thing. You know, you can make them go faster and you can like load all one up with all the things that could go in it. You have all those on a table and then put it into the bag. So this is the cool thing about reels. When you make these videos, because they're not live, you pre-record them, then you upload them. She uploads the same one to my Facebook page, to Instagram, and we're only getting ready to start loading some of those to TikTok. We have not even focused on that. Now, if you haven't started, I encourage you to start somewhere. That's what I would say. So that's one thing. The next thing is, so in sponsoring, you could create a reel just introducing yourself. Those get so many comments. Like sometimes it's just likes, but then people saying, I'd like to know more. If you'd like to know more, you know, comment below. Or if you'd like some information, comment below. Hi, my name is Marianne. I've been with 31 Gifts for 6 years now. I love it so much because this is what I'm able to do for people. It's a great, fun, flexible way to make some extra income. Maybe you're looking for some extra income for the holidays. If you'd like to know more, comment below or DM me or PM me, whatever you're going to put. Direct message, private message. And so then people are like, oh, I'd like more information. People like to hear people's story. And so you could do a simple one. And we've had people having lots of success with people just cooking. I'd like to know more. So make sure that you have at least one about yourself and about a fun, flexible way to make some extra income. Now remember, don't ever use words when you're talking about sponsoring like join. You want to use words like if you'd like to know more. The biggest number one rule in sponsoring, no matter whether you're making a post, whether you're going live in your customer community group, whether you are at a in-home event or an online event, so that's like a party, whether you are at that, whether you're at a pop-up event, doesn't matter. Your main objective is to create to create desire, so create interest. And the second rule is that you are not trying to get them to join. You are just trying to get them to say, I'd like some more information. The main reason that people don't click yes, that's what I would like, is people write, if you would like to join, if you would like to get started, private message me and we can get you started right away. That's too much. People are like, ooh, I don't know, I'm a little bit afraid. But if you say, if you just want to know more, you create the safe zone. It's the number one rule for getting recruits on your team is to create a safe zone for people to be curious. I had another leader with a company. She made a beautiful little post. It was just a post. It wasn't a video. She said, before I was getting a ton and now I'm getting nothing. Like, what am I doing? I looked at it and it was a cute. She had herself in a little Santa hat and it was like, would you like to make some extra holiday cash and have a debt-free holiday? And how would you like to have a fun, flexible way? Like it was cute. And the very last sentence said, if you're ready to get started, message me. I go, well, nobody's going to message you because they're not ready to get started. They don't even know whether they want to do it or they don't want to do it. And it's not safe to say yes, because then they feel like they either are going to be hounded, or then what if they say yes and they're not any good? There's fear. There's the tons of fear around that. So she said, oh my gosh, I'm crazy. Like, I know this, Belinda. And because she's followed me as long as Dawn has. So she was like, I'm going to change it right now. She changed the image, put up a new one, same image, same everything. Last sentence, if you'd just like to know more, if you'd just like to take a closer look. And then guess what? She had a whole bunch of people say, yes, please. Yes, please. I'd like some information. And then suddenly she had several people that she was able to follow up with as leads. All right. So the two things that, again, so think of this like this. There's two key areas of your business, and there's two key things, action steps that will make or break your business. All right. So think about that. The two key areas of your business, I've already said them, are sales and sponsoring. Now, we've always had a third category in there, and that's been bookings. But the way that I've been training today is sales can come from multiple ways. They can come from in-person events. They can come from online events. They can come from pop-up events. They can come from vendor events. They can come from your customer community group. They can come from just doing online marketing. Like, there are multiple ways that you can get sales. You have to determine what's your route. Think about it like going to a restaurant and picking out what you're going to eat for dinner. There's lots of choices on a menu. And you don't say, oh, I got to order one of everything on this menu. No, that would be what? Overwhelming. And you'd probably gain a whole bunch of weight. So instead you say, ooh, I think I'll have this tonight. And you might go back to the exact same restaurant on another night and order something different. So guys, it's okay to explore. Like, if you can only get out and do one live event in a week, then I'm going to do one live event. I'm going to do 2 online events. I'm going to try to do 1 pop-up a month. Like, get your game on as to how are you going to get those sales. And then what action steps are you going to do to promote sponsoring? And guys, when I talk about being enthusiastic, I watch online events all the time. People are all excited about their products, and they're showing little short videos, and they're talking about their products, and they're on fire. And then when it comes time to book, they're like, and so if you want to host your own event, let me know. And then when it comes to sponsoring, nothing. So why do you think maybe you're not getting the bookings that you want? And why do you think that no one is showing interest in your business opportunity? It's because you don't have the same level of enthusiasm as you do for when you are showing your products. So try to think about that. How can I show up with the level of enthusiasm? So the 2 action steps that can make or break your business and put you on the right track are definitely systems and schedules. And so I would ask you, what kind of systems do you have in place? Like, do you have a host packet ready to go with everything in it on your desktop? It could be an electronic host packet. Maybe you just drop a catalog, a real catalog in the mail, and everything else is digital, along with a letter saying thank you for scheduling, and you can just fill in the date. Do you have an electronic packet on your desktop for sponsoring, so that if somebody responds to one of your reels? I do want to say this. I just reviewed like about 100 different reels of people in direct sales companies, and probably only about 20% of the people had a call to action at the end. You definitely want to say, for more great tips, visit me at, maybe it's your website. If you want to order this awesome tote, go and here's the link to your website to order. If you'd like to see the rest of our amazing catalog, there's a link to the catalog on your website page. If you'd like to join my customer community group where we talk about all the wonderful things to make your life easier through organization and whatever, then click here. Like different ones only have one call to action on a reel because it's only 30 seconds. So don't put multiple calls to action, but just think about your different ones, but always have a call to action. You're always leading them somewhere. Don't think about a call to action like buy now. The call to action is leading them to your catalog, to your website, to your customer community group, to somewhere that you are going to be able then to follow up with them. All right. What are some other systems? Well, I've trained forever the Power Hour system. That's a time management system. And that is where you take 1 hour in a day, you break it into 4 15-minute increment action steps, and they should be your income producing activities. This is still the most powerful tool. And people that go, oh, I fell back in love with my Power Hour, like it makes a huge impact and difference. So a Power Hour is a system. What are some other systems? Maybe the way you train or onboard a new rep that comes into your company. Like maybe a system is I go live in my group, in my customer community group every Tuesday. Maybe you have a winning Wednesday with a tip. Like that's another system is your social media strategy. What is your content calendar? Do you have a content calendar? Every month at the beginning of the month, you should have a, actually you should, like right now, you should have October's done. What's October? That's what we were just working on. What is October's social media strategy? You have your content calendar. Like these are the products I'm going to focus and talk about. This is motivation that I'm going to talk about. These are some organization tips I'm going to talk about, whatever that looks like. And when I say talk, that can just be through a post as well. It doesn't mean you verbally talking, but communicate. How do we connect? So those are just a few systems. The other thing that I would say is your schedule. What is your schedule? Guys, I love it when people say, I like to work my business. Maybe you've heard this saying, it's a big one out in the industry right now. I like to work my business around the nooks and crannies of my life. I love it that I can work it around my kids. I can work it around whatever. And recently, I was working with a team that uses that phrase a lot. And I said, that's all great, but you can't wait to see when the nooks and crannies are. You have to sit down and say, this is my schedule for this week. Here's what my kids have going on. I definitely want to go to my son's soccer game. I want to go to my daughter's, whatever is going on with her. Maybe she's in soccer too. And so I'm like, okay, that's important. That's scheduled. I need to go to the school for conferences or for whatever. That's scheduled. Then you go, okay, where am I going to work my business? You can work it around the nooks and crannies of your life, but unfortunately, most of you are waiting to see where those are. And guess what? And this group even said this, I never find them. The whole day goes by and I never find them. I never find the nooks and crannies because something else always what? Pops up. Something that can always pop up. And that's why it's important for you to say, how many days am I going to work my business? Am I going to work it 1 hour a day or am I going to work it 2 hours a day? What days am I going to work on my social media or what part of the day? That's where the Power Hour kind of comes in because it helps you to do that as a system to help you with your schedule. But guys, if you don't take your schedule serious, like be intentional with it. Somebody just said being intentional with Power Hour and scheduling. That's right. If you're not intentional with it, every day will get away from you. Then the month gets away from you. The week gets away from you. Then the month gets away from you. And then you're like, I didn't sell the $3,000 or the $4,000 I really wanted to. And it wasn't because there weren't customers. this is the thing that I need you. This is why you need to go back and fall in love with your business again. Then I'm going to switch gears and talk about this planner and why it supports all the things I've been talking about. So you have to schedule your time in a way where you're like, okay, this is, what am I doing today? What do I want to get out of my business? Who can I reach out to? Like, you need to be excited. I lost my train of thought there for a minute. I'm like, what was I talking about? I was talking about that passion. Oh, like the reason that you fell in love with your business in the first place. When you get reconnected to that and get a fire in your belly, oh my gosh, then you're ready to schedule. Like, you don't want to just sit and wait and see where you could fit something in, because the majority of people will tell you it never comes. All right. Let's talk about this planner. What makes it so awesome for direct sellers? Ooh, I just dropped the whole box. So this is it this year. I love the color this year. This is 2023. And it's designed with everything I've just shared with you, honestly, very purposefully. It starts with your work-life balance sheet. So what are the big buckets in your work-life balance that are important to you? And this year we even added community, because a lot of people said to us, what I do in my community is equally as important. Then we go to your big purpose, your why. This is your vision board. And you design a vision board. And this year we actually gave you lots of downloads of other people's vision boards to help give you some ideas. Then it goes to your goal strategy page right here for the year. And then your plan of action for the year in each month. What are the things that you are going to do and focus on? And those are like sort of the big rocks, the big buckets. This is an awesome social media page. And on one side, it tells you what to post where. And on this other side, it's a mock-up of a content calendar. Now, some of you are saying, I can't see it. But if you go to the sales page that we're going to put the link to, you can actually see close-ups of each of these pages. Then it goes to each month. And each month, we tell you, okay, what are important things for you need to be thinking about? What are important dates so that you can create some of those silly posts like Donut Day and other kinds of things that create engagement. And then at the bottom here, it's very specific to that month about what are your goals for the month. And then over here on this other side, it's got who do I need to reach out to? What's my product focus of the month? And then it's got my lives that I want to do and what they're about. And then it has my stats. What did I do last year at this time? What did I do this year at this time? What is my goal? And was I a positive or was I a negative? And you can adjust accordingly. What gets tracked sees growth. And that's why I'm really big on that. We have two calendars. We have the month at a glance and the month at a glance. I'm going to pull way in for you. Do you see those 4 boxes? Those are for your power hour. And this year I added something new, which I'm kind of excited about. We created a legend right here. And you can actually put what those 4 colored boxes are. And so then you can actually go and count how many power hours did I do. This is a great accountability piece for you. And then of course we have the weeks at a glance. Now some people say, ooh, that gets me really overwhelmed. Guys, this is so important because each column is a day. It starts at 8 and it goes to 9:30 at night because we all know we're scheduling things into the evening. They're in half-hour increments if you do coaching. And then over here, we've got your healthy habits. So how much water did you drink? How many steps did you do today? So that can help put you on the right track too. This continues throughout the whole thing. Some of the other big things in the back, we've got a double-sided pocket. We have a brainstorming board, which you can write on. It's a dry eraser board. We've got a great page of stickers. We've got a tips and resource page like for digital tools you could be using right now. People ask me all the time, tell me again what screen you use, tell me again what camera you use. All that is listed in there, as well as other apps that are really good. So the planner is phenomenal. And the planner is just $49. Now I know some of you are going, ooh, that's a lot for a planner. It's a business system. And inside of this business system are 23 training videos from me. 11 on how to use all the pages, and then every month I give you a training video on exactly what you can be working on. Most planners that are 188 pages are running about $58 to $65. If you go look up Erin Condren's or anybody else's Happy Planner, that's the price they're running. So it's $49. Now this year we added this little mini date book. People have been begging for this for 3 years. They're like, Belinda, I don't want to take my big planner to my shows and to my parties because it's like too cumbersome. So what we did is we did a mini month at a glance so you can schedule while you're there with people. And then on the opposite page after each month, it's got a synopsis of each event that you did. How many people were there? How many people ordered? What were your total sales? What's your sales average per customer? Then we've got in there, what was the mileage? What were your expenses? Did you do any giveaways? And then we've got the follow-up, the 2 + 2 + 2 follow-up check boxes so that you can actually do proper follow-up. So this is a little mini date book. You can buy it as a package with the planner. It's $57. So you can buy 49 or you get the 2 for $57. Or if you are smart, you will get the I Want It All bundle. And the I Want It All bundle comes with the planner, the date book. You also get the gratitude journal. I dropped this in the floor, so excuse me. I'm so sorry. Pull that box up there. You also get a leader planning guide. So if you're a leader, this is a great way to plan and organize your team. If you're not a leader, there's great training tips in here. There's great challenges in here for everyone. And maybe you'll build a team then throughout the year. That has 16 video trainings in it. You also get 2 Post-it notepads of your top 10 things to do. And those are really nice because you can move them from page to page. You get these awesome magnetic bookmarks. You get a set of acrylic markers that do not bleed through the page. And you get an additional 3 more pages of great stickers. So that whole thing is valued like at $169 and you get it for $124. But here's the deal. Between now and mid-October, if you order it, you also get a free ticket to our summit, which is 8 best-selling author, dynamic speakers, everything on passion and how to work your business. That ticket, if you just buy it, is $97. But when you buy the I Want It All bundle, you get free shipping and you get a free ticket to the summit. So it's a $279 value for $124. And we do have Sezzle, so you can split it into 3 payments. We also have Shop Pay. That's another way that you can split your payment. So that is everything. And I have one lucky winner tonight. I did have a lucky winner tonight. I ran in there and got it.
8 p.m. Eastern time always messes me up. Or it must have been 7 p.m. Eastern because that would have been 5 our time. So
I'm so sorry. One of the other things that you can do is when you order, there they are. I found them. There will be a little pop-up and it will say, do you want to upgrade your order? We have our brand new, this is a brand new revised edition of Direct Selling for Dummies book and workbook. That invisible area is green because I have a green screen. So that's the book and workbook. And you can get that along with a Canva Ready Confidence course, a Canva course if you haven't ever done anything with Canva or Reels, and you get a Success Academy, which is an 8-hour training course that walks you through the book. That is a $375 value, and you can add it to your order for $69. It is a one-time offer. That is the one pop-up you will see, the only one. And then everyone can take advantage of a free gift and join our elite membership, which is where we teach you how to do everything I've been talking about. So why not try that group out for a month? And then it's only $17 if you stay with it. Every single month, you get a complete marketing package that helps you create reels, that helps you create posts, that gives you images for your posts. So we make life a little bit easier for you. So the winner does have to be here. So you have to put in the comments, I'm here. So we need that. And if the first person isn't here, then we go to the alternate. So do we have Kendall Nordland? Is Kendall Nordland with us this evening? Yes. I'm here. Woohoo! I love it when the first person's here. So Kendall, you're our winner. You will be given a link. Actually, it's a coupon code that will go in for the planner. So when you go to the sales page, you'll put your coupon code in. The planner will come up free. And then if you want to get any of the other stuff, you still can. It can all be shipped together. So everyone, thank you so much. I hope that you learned something. I would love for you to tell Dawn what your biggest takeaway was, or your biggest aha, or the thing that you are going to put into place first. And I'm going to have her share those with me. So thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great evening, and I'm cheering you on for having the most amazing fall selling season. We're in it, guys. So you got to be in it to win it. We got to get committed here because we can make great things happen.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.